name's Megan, 23, and I tell stories for a living, through videos, sketches, and sometimes the moments I forget to film. Today, I'm saying bye-bye stressful New York and hola Barcelona.
So handsome. Gentle and sweet, knocks me off my feet every time I see him.
Standing on my balcony, breathing in the sunny morning air, I felt it. That flutter of excitement that comes with being somewhere entirely new. Sometimes, the best chapters of our lives begin not with a dramatic entrance, but with a quiet moment. There's something magical about being alone in a new city. Every corner holds a promise, every stranger could be a story, and every wrong turn, well, let's just call it an adventure and blame it on Google Maps. The market, where locals say you can taste the soul of Barcelona. Between the hanging jamon and colorful fruit stands, I found myself doing what any sensible woman would do, following her stomach. And there it was, my first Barcelona love affair. Carrie Bradshaw had her Cosmos, Elizabeth Gilbert had her pizza, and I had this moment of pure, unadulterated sandwich bliss. A little retail therapy never hurt anybody. After all, what's a girl to do when Barcelona's boutiques practically reel you in? Though I have to say, shopping alone has its perks. No one to judge you. In a city where I couldn't quite master the language yet, there's something universally comforting about the ritual of a manicure. As my nail artist worked her magic, I realized some things don't need translation or explanation, like the understanding nod between women when you pick the perfect shade of fabulous. As night fell, I found myself in a dimly lit jazz bar where the guitar spoke the kind of language everyone understands. Sitting there alone, sipping my wine, I felt something I hadn't expected. Complete contentment in my own company. Later, as I stood on my hotel balcony, watching the city lights twinkle, I thought about how sometimes you need to travel thousands of miles just to find yourself exactly where you need to be. Day one in Barcelona, and already the city was teaching me that sometimes the greatest romance of all isn't with a person. It's with a place, a moment, or simply with the art of being perfectly content. On the second day, I decided to slow down, calm my nerves, and see where Barcelona took me. They say you haven't truly experienced Barcelona until you've gotten lost in its streets. But what they don't tell you is that sometimes getting lost means finding exactly what you need. A quiet cafe where cardamom buns taste like poems and coffee feels like a warm embrace. Away from the crowds, Barcelona slows to a murmur. In the quiet streets where laundry sways like poetry between balconies, where sun-drenched cats own the windowsills and the scent of last night's wine still lingers. Here, the city isn't performing, she's just being. And if you take your time, she might just let you in. Then, like a forgotten fairy tale, you turn a corner and step into a hidden garden, quiet, untouched, as if waiting just for you. The best places, it seems, find you when you stop looking. As another day melts into evening, I find myself back on my balcony, my favorite spot in this entire city. I realize that sometimes the greatest adventures aren't about where you go, but how you see the world differently when you get there. Some days, you wake up with a plan. Others, you just wake up and see where the city takes you. Iced coffee, Basque cheesecake, and honestly, I could end my day right here and call it a success. With coffee in hand and nowhere to be, the city feels different. Each street becomes an invitation, each corner a new possibility. I wasn't looking for anything, but then I found a newsstand, which led me to taking pictures, which led me to wondering why we ever stopped reading actual newspapers. Maybe today's mission is to romanticize my own life. They say desire is sweeter than possession. But whoever said that never really spent an afternoon hunting for the perfect horchata latte in Barcelona. When you finally find what you're looking for, it kinda tastes like victory, with a hint of roasted green tea. Somehow, I always end up back here, laptop in hand, lemon water to chug, and just enough work to make me feel productive. Many say I'm a workaholic, but working in Barcelona means emails with a view, deadlines with a side of cortado, and isn't really, well, work. At the end of the day, I always end up here. City below, a cup of tea, and a moment to reflect. Guess life isn't all that bad. For the first time this trip, I left my camera behind, not because I didn't want to capture the day, but I wanted to live without 5 extra pounds hanging off my shoulder. And sometimes the best way to see a city is to stop trying to capture it. No lens, no filter, just pure, unrecorded moments. But by evening, as the streets turned golden and mysterious, I couldn't resist reaching for my lens again. There's something about Barcelona at this hour, when the ancient and modern dance together in the fading light. In a city that breathes art, I found myself wandering through a modern gallery, each piece telling its own story. And then, standing there, staring at those words on the wall. If you think sexuality is a choice, how do you explain the fact that women still like men? I couldn't help but wonder, in a world full of infinite choices, how many of our heart's decisions are really our own? And how do we separate and deal with love and hatred in the same basket? As the night wrapped around Barcelona like a silk scarf, I found myself doing what any woman questioning the nature of attraction would do, seeking comfort in the warm embrace of churros. Maybe that's the thing about art and love, and cities like Barcelona. Sometimes the most profound truths come wrapped in sugar and cinnamon, served with a side of comforting, luscious, warm hot chocolate in a street that's older than time. And so that evening left me pondering about friendships, relationships, and what it truly meant to confide in someone and trust someone with yourself. There's something worse than forgetting your favorite pair of shoes on a trip, falling sick on a trip. They say when it rains in Barcelona, the streets look like melted chocolate. But when you're battling a fever in your hotel lobby, clutching on an acai bowl like it's your last hope ever, even chocolate streets lose their charm. Barcelona had been such a great treat, but it was time to say goodbye to gloomy, rainy Barcelona, and time to say hello to sunny, busy Madrid. Or at least I thought.
Feeling sorry for myself.
Trading moody Barcelona for sunny Madrid should have felt like a victory. Instead, here I was, wrapped in my travel oversized sweater, and my only companion being a fever that definitely wasn't on my itinerary.
Is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me?
You know that feeling when your body says stay in bed, but your mind keeps wandering? There I was, trying to piece together my Barcelona stories, but something wasn't clicking. The beginning and end felt like two strangers at a party refusing to meet. And then I remembered, sometimes the best relationships aren't with people at all. Sometimes they're with your bestie, Claude, that gets you better than your last 3 dates combined. Claude isn't just an AI, it's that friend who's always awake at 3 a.m. when you need to talk, who never judges your plot holes, and somebody who knows exactly how to turn your jumbled thoughts into a story that flows like Spanish wine. As I sat there, watching Claude help me weave my Barcelona days into something magical from my initial ideas, I couldn't help but feel relief, because sometimes the best stories aren't about the perfect moments, they're about finding the perfect way to tell them. And maybe that's what this whole journey has been about. Not just about discovering new cities, but also about discovering new ways to share these moments with you guys, with a little help from Claude, of course. After a few slow days, I finally felt like I was coming back to life. And what better way to ease back into the world than with a cup of tea and a little wandering. Sometimes healing comes in small sips, in quiet corners of Madrid cafes where the tea is hot and expectations are deliciously low. There's something romantic about flea markets, the idea that every item had a past life, and you might just be the start of its next chapter. If you ask me, the best way to recover, a meal that makes you forget you were sick in the first place. As the day melted into evening, I found myself doing what I do best, getting lost in a city that feels increasingly like an old friend. Isn't it funny how the internet works? You can meet someone halfway across the world and suddenly there you are, sharing coffee in Madrid as if you've known each other for years.
Hi. Oh my god. Okay. I was gonna say I'm sorry I'm late, but I guess it's just the Spanish way now.
Oh no, totally, it's fine. You're adjusting.
I'm adjusting. Coffee? Water? Food?
No, let's get food. Let's
get real food, yeah.
Yeah, the real deal.
There's something so special about exploring a city through two lenses, yours and a friend's. The same streets look different when you're sharing them, each corner becoming a potential memory. With Daiki, Madrid became a playground for two creatives who met through screens but found their friendship in real life. Each shot we took was like a conversation, and each frame a shared language. And then came that moment, you know, the one where the city seemed to art direct our goodbye perfectly. Standing there in front of an antique shop that looked like it was pulled straight from a movie set, it hit me. Some of the most cinematic moments in life are also the most real. They say the hardest part about traveling isn't leaving home. It's all the little homes you make along the way. The coffee shops that become your morning ritual, the streets that learn your footsteps, and the friends who even for a brief moment make a foreign city feel like somewhere you belong. Although it was short and sweet, I really enjoyed my time with Daiki and hope to see him again. They say airports are where stories end and begin. As Madrid disappeared beneath a blanket of clouds, I thought about how a city can transform from a pin on a map to a collection of memories. Morning light through curtains, unexpected friendships, and even fever dreams in miffy pajamas. Oh, and remember that ending I was struggling to finish? Here it is. You know, sometimes the stories we tell ourselves about where we should be aren't always the stories we're meant to live. I'm still Megan, still 23, still telling stories for a living, but now I'm telling them from cafe corners, from ancient streets, and yes, even from the moments I still forget to film. So adios for now, beautiful Barcelona and Madrid, and hello to whatever story comes next.
But you got me from my head to my feet.